Beautiful. Okay, we're here with Paul Fenech, writer-director of HOUSOS vs Authority. Hey, thanks for your time, man.
No worries, man. It's always good to be in WA. There's plenty of bogans here, and we love bogans because housos are bogans.
Absolutely. So how's the response been to the new movie so far?
Everyone who's seen it, they're laughing. That's the main job of comedy. Big laughs. I mean, if they laugh, I've achieved my goals. So, I hear them laugh, like my job is done.
Awesome. So for anyone unfamiliar with the show, what can they expect from the movie?
Look, it's a silly comedy, about a bunch of stooges who want to take on all sorts of authorities, cops, courts, guys at the Centrelink. And it's, I don't know, to me it's underdog humour. If you're an underdog in Australia, if you've ever suffered, if you've ever had kind of some, clown tell you can't do something because of whatever, because he's in authority, you'll like this film. It's the tradition of Ned Kelly. It goes back to Ned Kelly. He didn't like those clowns pushing him around, put the helmet on, and there you go.
Bang, bang. So why do you think people, maybe especially Australians, like to laugh at politically incorrect humour?
Well, just look at us. I mean, we're a bunch of kind of like, criminals and convicts, refugees, off the boat, migrants, low-class people. So our sense of humour has always been kind of a bit rough and ready, a bit raw, like no matter what flavour of Australian you are. So we're not an aristocratic kind of nation, So that's why our humour is not aristocratic.
So conversely, why are some people so scared to be politically incorrect?
Well, I don't know. I think it's insurance companies, it's government, it's all these lobby people. They're trying to turn us into America where everyone's scared of some sort of litigation, I think. Or that's really what it comes down to, I think. I've worked in the public service, I've worked in private sector in film, and everyone is scared of litigation. And then you make these rules and all these kind of environments so you can't say boo about anything, And even if it's funny or a joke, I don't know. It's a bit of a sad kind of time, really.
It feels to me like we've lost something from the 70s and 80s that we grew up with, that was part of our cultural identity.
Definitely, my background is sort of not 100% Australian, it's a bit off the boat, but the thing that I always grew up with, the sense that there was a larrikin, cheeky element to the Australian character was an appealing part, But that's what's being eroded, because when you say somebody can't kind of make a joke, no matter what shade of joke it is, you can't be cheeky like that. I mean, he's got to sit there like a stooge, So I don't know what they're trying to do to us or what sort of society they're trying to create. But it's not the society that's been, that's for sure.
But you also said, you're not 100% Australian. Could you come off the boat? But that's Australian culture.
Well, that's it.
We all come off the boat somewhere along the line, pretty much.
No, 100%. I'm not like, chesty bonds, But, even though I do have guns, but it's a different story. But, you know what I mean.
You're certainly not shy of calling a spade a spade. Were you, going back to when you were a kid, were you the class clown?
Well, funnily enough, I was on the plane yesterday and the stewardess came up and I didn't even recognise her from primary school, and she went and had a chat with one of the other, Shazza, who's in the class. And I said, she goes, I met that chick who used to go to primary school. She said, you're always in trouble at school. I can't even remember that. So there you go. I must have been.
You've been like that for so long you've forgotten it. You blocked it out, mate. So, through the shows, Fat Pizza, Swift and Shift Couriers, and now HOUSOS, you featured a myriad of cameos from people that are really, really, the Australian cultural identity was growing up with. Your Angry Andersons, Ian Turpis, and John Mangos, Vince Sorrentis, all these sort of people. Do you go out hunting these guys when you're writing, or do you find that they're available and then write them in?
That's pretty much it. I sort of see who we might have a particular type of role, and once I know who's going to do it, then I'll write it for them, So I remember with Ian Turpie and a lot of our stuff, before he passed away, we needed a certain type of character for this thing, and then I thought, geez, he would just be perfect, and then I didn't write the show until I knew he was up for it.
Yeah, right.
Similar with Angry Anderson, he just looks like a bikie, I mean, even though he's going to be like a liberal parliamentarian or something, he's going running for the Senate, but when you see him with the tats and that, he's the ultimate kind of looks like a bikie guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, awesome.
So,
So what's it like working with people like these that have their own sort of little identity, public sort of identity, so to speak? Do you get to hang out and have a bit of a laugh, or is it all business?
Look, most of it is we just work together, but you get to know them pretty well. Particularly guys like Angry, who we've worked with over a lot of years. Actually, we've become more mates, I suppose. But it's really cool. I mean, they're sort of an icon 1 minute, and then they're working for you the next. I mean, it's pretty trippy. There are lots of comedians I grew up with in Australia who ended up working for me that I used to go and see on stage. So,
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It sort of, put it simply, it's a bit of a spin out sometimes. You just go, wait a minute, I'm their boss. It's a bit trippy. But they all come with their kind of pros and cons in different kind of ways. So. But they're all colourful, which is kind of, I like colourful people.
That's it, isn't it? That's what, when you're talking about iconic identity, it's a colourful character, and it's someone who's got a personality.
Yeah, definitely.
Which goes back to what we're saying about this politically correctness. These people have an identity, and they aren't afraid to be who they are.
Well, I think that's the thing that's dangerous about political correctness, is it wants to make everything same, like everything bland. And it's a bit at odds with, I like people with character, and generally people with individuality and character will kind of express themselves in their way, and that's not politically correct because you're not going with the line that they're telling you.
So, despite the anarchic nature of all your shows, you've got a reputation for being like really professional behind the camera. You get in.
That.
They were lying. That you get in there, you do it on budget, you do it really, really fast and professionally, and you get the job done really fast. Do you have anything at all in common with your characters like Paulie or Frankie?
Oh yeah, look, in my personal life is a book that will never be written because of I'll be shamed and jailed. But look, work is work, and my kind of private thing is my private thing. But I have found, for whatever reason, I mean, with pizza, I actually put a lot of my life before, into pizza, a lot of experiences, and then the more crazy kind of stuff that I'm a bit of a freak magnet just in general. So crazy stuff just seems to happen to me, whether it's on screen or off. I don't know. I'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough. So what was the story when HOUSOS first started and was just about to be aired, around about this time last year, I think it was?
Yep.
What was the story with A Current Affair claiming it was some kind of reality show?
Well, it was the best mistake they ever made for me, thank you. It was really weird set of circumstances. We made a kind of, the show wasn't even finished, we made a little kind of party video, just, rushes of clips of scenes for the show for Christmas, because we finished before Christmas, and one of the guys who worked with us put it on Facebook, and then somehow Current Affair sees this, and the researcher thinks that SBS is making a reality show about bogans or housing commission people, totally ignoring the fact that me, Angry Anderson, Turpy, all these kind of recognisable people are in these clips, So then they tried to run the story the night before saying, the shameful show wasting your tax dollars making fun of the poor in Australia. But then by the next lunchtime, before it was meant to go to air, they realised that it wasn't a reality, it was a comedy. So they went and reshot the story, and they went out to a kind of a Rockingham type of area for your WA people, and they showed the clips, and they loved it. So it ended up going from a big pan to being this incredible promo. It was a 9-minute promo for the show.
Can't buy advertising like that, can you?
It was unbelievable. So then we had an audience for the show, like 6 months before the show went to air.
Wicked. Cool. I liked SBS's response when they were quizzed by that, saying that it's a highly exaggerated comedy.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, you're talking about political correctness. I mean, look, I guess if you work in any kind of authority, you just have to toe that line. I mean, and it's not easy being a broadcaster because, you do one wrong step and then everybody comes down on you. So,
but be it highly exaggerated, quote unquote, or politically incorrect, whichever way you want to look at it, the simple fact is it strikes a chord with a lot of people.
Well, look, I like to think that the one thing I do that a lot of filmmakers don't do is I actually go out and look at things before I do my research, So actually, like, had a few single mothers as girlfriends. No, I'm just joking. But, but I do actually go out and try and get a sense of what the thing like when we did the courier show, I went and spent time in a courier company.
Yeah, right.
Checked it out and got all their stories, and they told me what was going on. I didn't make it up. I said, okay, tell me what happens, and then we structured the show around it. Mm-hmm. And similarly with HOUSOS, I just went and hung out and looked and listened, and that's why I think it's relative,
So that doesn't imply that you're that much of a method actor that you're going out and sitting there on the bong all day long.
Well, if you notice on the show, I never actually smoke any bongs on camera, but you do see me sipping a bit of bourbon, and as you can see, maybe that's not far from the truth.
That's not all bad. So your shows are uniquely Australian.
Yep.
And you mentioned tapping into that Australian underdog culture. Do you have a project up your sleeve for maybe later on down the track which might attract more of a global audience?
Yeah, no, look, I'm actually working on a thing. I started to shoot another movie before HOUSOS this year, which is all set in America, called The Mexican, and it's not finished because I had to jump back in because HOUSOS had such a tight deadline. We wanted out in November. I had to kind of stop that and jump into that. So certainly, but look, to be honest, that's a bit like the Olympic. If you can work in America just once, to me, that's like the Olympic Games of filmmaking. To have that opportunity would be unbelievable. It's not my priority. I mean, Australian audiences have been so good to me. That's my priority, really. You know.
Sure. Now, is there much of a difference from your perspective in shooting a TV show and shooting a movie?
No, I think at the end of the day, it's actors, a camera, and editing. That's it. You just have to approach them differently because they're a different experience, you know. It's the same thing, you know. Just guy stands here, action, talk, walk over there, thong a cop, you know.
As you do. Just another day in Rockingham, maybe.
That's it, mate.
You've kept with SBS throughout, what, 12 or so years now of making your sitcoms, and you've stuck with SBS. Have you had the big offer from one of the commercial networks?
No, definitely. I've talked to all the other ones over the years, but I think, you know, if you jump in with those guys, you can't be as honest and extreme as we have been. That's why SBS has always been great, you know. To date, they let me kind of do what I want, to a degree, and I'll always appreciate that opportunity because it's rare in media, you know. I guess I don't know whether they're brave or what, but they like my stuff, so it's been there, you know.
It's found your home.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a weird thing in Australia too. Once you get sort of known for being with a network, it's not really easy to jump to the other one easily. You can, but it is a bit of a gamble, you know. If it doesn't work, then you've lost everybody. It's very unforgiving. You're only good as your last kind of project. You know?
I imagine you'd be able to keep more independence with someone like SBS.
Oh, certainly. I mean, SBS is not about. I mean, it has a bit of a cultural platform as opposed to just selling chickens. You know, like. I think, particularly, I'm probably like one of the only multicultural kind of producers in Australia. So, in a way, it's where I should be. You know, and the sort of things I like to say, I think, are relative to SBS. You know.
Cool. So, what's next for Paul Fenech?
Look, you know, I'm actually finishing. We finished HOUSOS the movie on the Friday, and I started shooting HOUSOS Series 2 on the Monday. So I'm currently filming that. Then I've got to finish off the Mexican film. And then if this movie goes good, I'm looking at maybe another couple of films. I don't stop working, mate. You know?
Sounds like it.
Like I'm like the fruit shop owner of media. You know,
you're a machine, Paul.
24/7, mate.
That's great, mate. Thanks so much for your time, and good luck with the movie and the next series of HOUSOS.
Thanks, brother.
Awesome.